10-part series for at least season 1. We might come back and do more, but all about Facebook ads, digital advertising, and answering your questions. So we get questions every week coming in. We have a Google form that's going to be linked wherever you see this video, so either on Facebook or on YouTube. We send it out to our email list at intentionalspark.com and ask everyone on our list, what questions they have, either a big picture, strategy, small picture, glitches happening in the system, what we're seeing now, anything in between. So, and you can also comment. So comment on YouTube, comment on Facebook, on this Facebook Live. If you're seeing it later, just comment on the post. We'll take all those questions and then we answer the ones that get asked the most or the ones that we think are most relevant for the most people. The reason I'm wearing 17 layers, the furnace broke in our house yesterday and it just turned on about 10 minutes ago. So it's still about 60 degrees in here. So that is why I am wearing so many layers. But let's dive in. Today's topic, you can already see it everywhere this is posted. And if you're joining us, you can jump ahead and ask any questions you want. But we get these questions all the time. And we've had a bunch recently from potential new clients that I chat with, people on our email list that are looking to hire or have hired and aren't sure if their team is good or not, or wondering, how do you tell if your team is doing a good job when you don't know ads yourself? And so I want to dive in and really cover what it's like as a business owner to work with someone else managing your ads, either, a freelancer, maybe you have a full-time person on your team, maybe you have a larger company and you have a full-time paid marketing manager, or maybe you're working with an ad team like us or any other agency. So one question we always get around this topic is, what is important to look for when hiring someone else to manage your ad campaigns? Like, how do you even chat with someone to see if they're going to be a good fit for you, if they know what they're talking about? We talk with a lot of business owners and, they're not talking to just us, and they have a lot of great questions around ads and strategy, but it's really hard to decide if someone knows what they're talking about and is a good fit for you when you don't really have subject matter expertise in what you're hiring for. And this happens a lot as your business grows. You start hiring out for things that maybe you've done a little bit on Facebook ads, or maybe you haven't done anything. You might Google, find some things to ask, but it's really hard to figure out, is it a good fit? So I think the first thing to think about and really understand is, what are you looking for from an ads team? This might sound simple, but a lot of owners have expectations that, they maybe think they want one thing and really want something else, or they really don't know what they're looking for. And then so nothing feels right. So let me give you an example. Some business owners and clients really only care about the end result. Is the money I'm spending on ads directly contributing to sales that I can track with direct attribution from Facebook? And is it generating an immediate return on ad spend for me? Those clients don't really care if you're getting cheap lead costs, don't care about link click-through rate. All they care about is, are they getting the return on ad spend they want? And that's fine. That's great. They don't care how much you're talking to them, but that's something important where you need to decide, I want that. And all I really care about, I don't care what they're doing with ads, as long as they can show me return on ad spend, I don't care about anything else. I think it's really important to have key metrics like that and to be talking about them. But if that's the only thing you really care about, you need to find an ad team that is really focused on, revenue, immediate revenue. So not, nurturing and building leads and educating customers, because that spend has a lot of value, but it isn't always directly attributable to ads. But also maybe you're good going with a team where they only have a monthly call. They don't chat with you in between. Maybe they provide loose reporting. Maybe you don't care about reporting and communication. So figure out what you're looking for and then talk to everybody that you want to hire. Ask them, how do they do reporting? How do they do communication? If that matters to you. For most clients we work with, we tend to find that is one of the big things they care about, even if they had no idea. They've worked with a couple other people, and we often hear, our ads actually did pretty well, but I never knew what was going on or if they were doing well in the moment. And so we find that communication and reporting tend to be a high priority for clients, even if that isn't the thing that keeps them with you long-term, because they do need to see results. So think about communication and reporting. How do the ads teams or the ad person you're interviewing, how do they handle it? Is it very strict and scheduled? Do they offer calls whenever you need it? Are you able to chat with them directly with Slack or maybe email? Understand that. You also, a big thing is understanding, do you need someone who just implements what you say? Do you have a clear strategy? you know how ads fit in, and you just need someone to follow the game plan. And be just more of a media buyer where they just translate your marketing directly into the ad platforms? Or are you looking for someone that you can work alongside with more strategically? Do they care not just are the ads hitting targets like cost per lead, link click through rate? Are the ads, because that is something that some teams do, is like the ads are doing their job. The ads are getting you leads at a good cost. They're getting you traffic with high engagement, with high link click through rate. And then if people aren't buying, that's on your side of the fence. You're focusing on the funnel. Other people are much more funnel focused. So, these people will track ads, track the ad success on the platform, cost per lead, link click through rate, but also work with you in conjunction to figure out, if we're getting good ad results, but they're not translating into sales or our next key objective, what's going on here? Why are people dropping off? What are your conversion rates? What should we be expecting? That's something we tend to focus on just because we know, number one, ad success is not just on platform. There's a lot we can do to have ads work as far as getting cheap leads, but that's only part of the answer. Sometimes the cheapest lead you get in Facebook ads or Google ads is not the best converting return on ads or converting person to buy. So sometimes you need more expensive leads and better buyers because your return on ad spend will be better. So it's a lot of questions and nuances around this. But for me, if I was talking to a friend about how to interview someone, you want to hear them ask you questions about your funnels, conversion rates, they should be trying to understand what are you currently seeing either with your Facebook ads or with your organic funnels, because that's really important to compare what you're currently doing with any new ad performance. If something is not converting organically or the math doesn't make sense for ads to actually help, then it might not be an ad problem once you start ads. You need to work on the funnel first and prove that it can convert at a number that makes sense for once you apply ad spend. And that usually, if people are talking about funnels, they also then come with strategy. So they'll take your marketing goals, they'll take any marketing strategy you have, and they'll apply it and create an ad strategy that supports your strategy. And they'll often suggest strategies that maybe you haven't thought of or tried yet. And so none of these are necessarily right or wrong. It's what you're looking for. Many businesses already have clear plans and roadmaps and just need a team to implement what their roadmap is in the system. Some people are looking for, they don't really care about chatting with you or understanding what's happening. They just want the results. And some people really are focused on communication, clear reporting, and a collaborative experience. And now you still need performance, but they don't want performance alone. They want it with communication reporting. So figure out what you want, what would be helpful for you, and then focus your questions. You're talking an ad team around that and listen for keywords. So, if they volunteer and are bringing up how they communicate and report, that usually means that's something that's important to them, something they focus on. If they are asking questions about your marketing funnels, current results, some off ad platform metrics, that usually means they're focused beyond just immediate ad results. And so you can ask them directly, but also if they start volunteering that information, it's a good sign. So these are all things you can start thinking about for yourself and understanding what you would want to see, and then apply that when you're trying to hire. All right, let's move on. The second of the three topics today around, how to hire and how to think about hiring for someone to manage your ads. This one is also really hard, especially a lot of business owners maybe have done a little bit with ads, but not a lot, or haven't really done anything. And it's what should I care about and focus on when working with an ad team? We see this go both ways. Sometimes business owners who have run their own ads have a hard time letting go of the minute details of ad management. Totally understandable. They know what's happening. They've been doing it. They're checking it daily. They're tracking their numbers. They're doing everything right. But then everyone's doing double work because the ad team then is looking at the account. The business owner is looking at the account. They're both questioning each other, trying to explain why they're doing things. And so that can be a little difficult. And it goes the other way. If the business owner isn't asking any questions, then it just falls on the ad team to supply what they're seeing. And oftentimes the business owner has a different view because they can see non-ad results. They know what they're doing with their email campaigns, and maybe they forgot to tell you. So it's important that the business owner has a clear idea of where and when they should be focusing on the ad account so that they can be of the most value. And so here's what I would recommend. Number one, Now you've hired the team you wanted. So if you wanted someone who communicates and does reporting and that's their focus, you have them. If you're looking just for results, you have them. But once you have the team, you really want to be picking some core metrics to measure success. You don't need to be necessarily in every single campaign and ad set and ad, but you want clear metrics that they can report to you that would tell you if things are on track. So for example, maybe you have 2 opt-in offers currently that can be run for ads. You have an evergreen webinar, and then you have a membership that people can be offered once they've opted in some way. So right off the bat, you'll be looking for cost per lead. You want to know cost per webinar registration, and you want to know kind of those sales numbers. So cost per sale, and then maybe overall return on ad spend. And if you can work with the ad team to come up with some goals, because different offers need different targets and different audiences might have higher costs. But let's just say you want a $3 cost per lead, a $5 or less webinar registration, and a cost per sale for that at the sales level of like $20. And maybe you're looking to see account wide last 7 days. This is just Facebook specific, because that's all you get right now on attribution is last 7 days click. That's the most you can see. Maybe you want to see a 50% return on ad spend across the whole account. That'll go up over time, but Facebook won't get credit because of attribution problems. But if those are your targets, your ad team can go off. They know what they're aiming for. Doesn't mean they're going to try and not do better than that. And you can always lower your goals if they greatly, surpass them. But then they can report to you, we're getting cost per leads at the level you wanted. Return on ad spends where you wanted it. Registrations maybe are a little more costly. But then you can look at those, and then that's where the discussion opens up, because hopefully they're then telling you cost per webinar registration is higher than goals. Here's why. Here's what we're seeing. Here's what we recommend. Here's what we want you to do next, or what we think you should do next. Here's what we're doing now to try and bring these down. And maybe you find out that you don't care because your return on ad spend is way higher. And even though it's a more costly registration, overall, you're bringing in the return you wanted. So all that to say, pick your key performance indicators, your KPIs, and have those be what everyone's shooting for and reporting on. And then let those dictate what comes out of them. So if you're not hitting goals, that's when the ad team then, or you can ask further questions about, audience targeting, that type of thing. You should definitely help your ads team with audience ideas, but they're going to take your ideas on the real world audiences and then apply them to find them inside Facebook's targeting. So you can have deeper conversations, but if you can focus on your core metrics, get reporting on your core metrics, then you don't have to be as in the weeds on each individual piece of ad information. And that the whole point of hiring someone else to run your account is so that you can focus on other activities and still trust that it's being taken care of. But it's important, what you care about, what some of these numbers mean. And the other metric is just the overall health of your business. So this is something we've talked to many of our clients about, but a lot of these ad platforms now are starting to lose attribution beyond 7 days of a 7-day window. Before, for example, Facebook ads used to get 28 days of attribution. So someone clicked on an ad, but then bought 20 days later, Facebook could get credit. Now it's only 7 days. And a lot of times people are opting into a webinar, not even seeing a sales pitch for till day 4 or 5. So there's just less attribution being credited back to Facebook, even though people are still buying. And so Facebook is starting to not get as much credit, which means you can't always know for sure, at least based on Facebook's reporting, where your sales are coming from. But there is a metric you can do that just tracks overall health of your marketing. Not necessarily helpful in any specific time, but it's helpful as a benchmark over time. It's called the marketing efficiency ratio. It's pretty much as simple as you can get. It's your monthly revenue divided by your monthly marketing expense. So say maybe you could add in all expenses if you have a lot of freelancers, contractors, and all that. But if you want like a simple number, I would recommend taking new monthly revenue. So if you have recurring revenue from memberships, I would just do new revenue divided by ad spend. You can also do existing or all revenue. It doesn't matter because you're not looking for one number. You're looking for a number to track as a benchmark. So as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter as much. But let's just say you're doing new monthly revenue over all ad spend. Maybe you look back and you've had really profitable months and it's at about a 1-to-1. So you're making new revenue just as much as you're spending. And if it's monthly revenue, it's recurring. So if you can break even in month 1, it's profit after that. But even if it's just a one-time purchase, if you're breaking even, you're probably also generating a ton of leads from that ad spend that you can continue to sell to. And all these people now on your list and who are aware of you will buy after that initial ad interaction. So it probably has a lot higher long-term return. But just say you're at a 1-to-1, 100% new revenue divided by ad spend. That's your number. Next month you look, and it's 1.1. Next month it's 1 again. Ad spend's been the same the whole time. Now, if you want to increase ad spend, and after a month of doubling your ad spend, Facebook has gone up in attribution a little bit, but not a lot, not a doubling. But then you look at your overall business and your revenue doubled that month or close to it. You can start to see that like ad spend definitely had an effect. If that was the only thing driving that you were doing different that month, even if Facebook didn't get attribution, and it shows that you're on track. Now, if the marketing efficiency ratio goes in half, like you still made the same amount of revenue, but you spent double, then okay, whatever I just did, it didn't show up in Facebook attribution and it's not showing to my bottom line this month. Next month's not increasing. I know that promotion didn't work. So it's a much higher level view, but it gives you an overall idea of the health of your business, and lets you kind of trust then the ad numbers a little more. If ads are looking like they're doing a good job, but that overall number is not moving, you might need to dig in deeper and question it. So hope that makes sense. Pick your core metrics. At the end of the day, care about return on ad spend, if nothing else, because that shows you that the money you're putting into ads and the money you're immediately getting out. Track it over time, get reporting on it, and then ask questions from there. Why is return on ad spend going down the last 2 months? Then your team might tell you about rising lead costs. You can investigate, talk to them about it. Hopefully they're telling you more in advance on it, but that's where these conversations can go. But if you don't know anything about ads, you can still know a lot about what you want to see from those metrics and then work with your ads teams to figure it out. Last point today, last topic, what questions should I be asking my ad team? A lot of business owners don't know, obviously, what they don't know, right? And so if they don't know a lot about ads, they don't always know what to be asking. And so this isn't going to be specifics, talking about metrics or anything like that. We can have a different conversation. But this is more bigger picture questions that I think are really helpful to shift conversation, because sometimes ad teams get focused just on ad results. Sometimes they don't know your bigger picture. If you tell them, here's a new opt-in, we want this to do the best it can, they're going to do whatever they can to have a great result. But maybe you're also like, I don't need to run that forever. If that's not generating sales, even if it's getting a good cost per lead, let's turn it off. So you can start asking them questions that are bigger picture. So one question that's really great to ask, especially if you seem to be missing the mark after a month of testing or a month or more of testing a certain offer or funnel on Facebook or Google or any other platform, is ask your ads team, do you think it's the ads or the ad strategy, or do you think it's my offer itself? And this opens up a totally different avenue. So instead of the ads team just focusing on everything they can do on the platform to get you the best results, that might let them take a step back and maybe have an uncomfortable conversation saying, ads are doing a great job. We've tested a lot of audiences. None of them generate a return on ad spend for you. They're all getting you good leads, but then people aren't opting in to buy or hitting the sales page the way they thought. They aren't converting to buyers the way they thought. And so that can be a really interesting conversation to see what the ad team thinks. Or maybe the ads are really expensive, but once people are opting in, they're actually converting really well. And so they're like, look, your offer is doing great. We just got to find different audiences or have a different message. So that's a good question. And that ties in. There's the offer, which is your initial offer, and then there's the funnel. Maybe people are all opting in, people are excited about the offer, and then they're just not converting down the funnel. Maybe something needs to change with your emails, with those pieces of your marketing. And then a really big picture is, ad teams are going to hopefully always be giving you ideas for new promotions. But some clients are really prolific with coming up with new marketing ideas. And so there's always a lot happening. So if you ever take a pause, you can just ask your ads team, because they might be busy already working on what you've given them. Is there anything we're missing? Anything we should be trying that you're seeing work really well right now, or that has worked in the past that might work really well for us? This is something we always try to do with clients, but sometimes clients are so focused on their own marketing efforts and they've planned it far out, that they give us, if we offer an idea, or there isn't even time to offer an idea, but it's, gets pushed way down the road. So if you, as the business owner, or you're the main contact with the client, can take a pause and just check in, like, is there anything unique happening right now that you're seeing across all accounts? Or is there anything specific we could try or test that you think would be a good fit for us? Some ad teams, this might give them, enough of a pause to actually present you as something interesting, or at least have a conversation, or have them start paying more attention because they know you're looking for new ideas versus just giving the team new opt-ins, new offers. This might open up a different conversation. And if you're working with a team or a freelancer, they're probably working with multiple clients and have access to a lot of different data, marketing funnels, campaigns, and you might be inspired by an idea they have. Maybe it won't fit for you, but maybe something like it will. So it's a great way to open up the conversation and lean on their expertise. So that was today's topic, all about focusing on, as a business owner, how do you hire an ads team? What do you ask? How do you talk to an ads team? How do you get the most out of your ads team? How can you get out of ads while still making sure everything is going according to plan? It's a big topic. It's always difficult for business owners, as you're growing and you're handing off different parts of your business. Sometimes the paid marketing is the hardest because it's tied to ad spend. So you're paying someone to manage your ads, plus they're spending your money for you. And so whether you know ads or you don't, there's just a lot more focus and stress on it. So hopefully you have some takeaways today that you can work on, whether you're trying to hire or you already working with the team and you want to set up some more guidelines or questions so that you can have a better understanding of, your core goals and what you need to be measuring. Hopefully this helped. Would love to hear questions and comments more on this topic. I think it's really interesting because, like I said in the beginning, business owners have lots of different ideas of what it means to work with a partner, whether it's an ads team, the graphic designers, copywriters. And so I'd love to hear kind of what are your key things you're looking for. Do you care about communication and reporting? Do you just care about the bottom line? Do you not care about return because you're like, give me the cheapest leads? I know these people, if you hit the right audiences, will convert in the next 6 months, and that's all I care about. There's lots of different views. Would love to hear them. Would love to hear other questions or reasons maybe why you haven't hired a team, or you've had a bad experience or great experience. I'd love to hear that, actually. I usually only hear bad. I'd love to hear about, a team you've worked with that's done really well and why. So these are supposed to be interactive, engaging, and I hope this was helpful, but looking for a lot more questions too. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. And we'll be back here next Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. Going to go live again, 12 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific next Wednesday. And then we're hitting the road right after that, heading up to Seattle to do Thanksgiving with our family. Anyway, have a good week.